The Philippine Navy assures the public safeguards are in place to protect the country's recent natural gas discovery at Malampaya.
The Philippine Coast Guard is stepping up its presence in the West Philippine Sea, deploying aircraft and modern patrol vessels to tighten security around the Malampaya East 1 gas field, following the discovery of a major new natural gas reserve. To protect the area, the PCG plans to send its flagship 97-meter Teresa Magbanua class patrol vessels, backed by 2 44-meter Parola class ships, along with Coast Guard aircraft. The message is straightforward. The Philippine government intends to safeguard this newly discovered energy resource, especially since it sits near one of the most contested parts of the West Philippine Sea. Officials say vessels will be repositioned with a primary focus on Malampaya, an area already facing persistent security challenges. The Coast Guard has openly acknowledged growing pressure in these waters, pointing to increasingly aggressive actions by China. At the same time, the Philippines' closest ally, the United States, has maintained a strong naval presence in the region. Just last week, the USS Abraham Lincoln, a Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, wrapped up operations in the South China Sea after conducting live fire drills as part of routine deployments. Notably, this activity coincided with Philippine survey and drilling operations that led to the discovery of the new gas reservoir. The U.S. Navy has also confirmed that the Tripoli Expeditionary Strike Group, built around the America-class amphibious assault ship USS Tripoli LHA-7 and supported by the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, began its forward deployed mission last month. Officially, these forces are tasked with maintaining peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific and ensuring open access to international waters. From Manila's perspective, this broader U.S. presence reinforces its ability to protect sovereign rights, especially as the Philippines moves to secure potentially trillions of dollars worth of oil and gas resources within its exclusive economic zone. The U.S. has also expanded access to several Philippine bases across the archipelago, many positioned close to key energy zones, strengthening coordination and response capabilities. The stakes are high. This week's discovery near the Malampaya gas field off Palawan marks the Philippines' first major natural gas find in more than 10 years. In addition to gas, the reservoir also contains condensate, a high-value liquid fuel, adding to its strategic importance. These new resources could play a major role in stabilizing the country's power supply at a critical time. With energy demand rising and Malampaya's original reserves declining, securing new sources has become urgent. Current estimates suggest around 2.8 billion cubic meters, or 98 billion cubic feet, of natural gas were found just 5 kilometers east of the main Malampaya field. That's enough to generate nearly 14 billion kilowatt hours of electricity per year, potentially powering 5.7 million homes annually. The original Malampaya deepwater gas-to-power project launched the Philippines' natural gas industry. Located about 50 kilometers off northwest Palawan, it began commercial operations in 2002 and has delivered more than $12 billion in revenues to the government, while supplying up to 20% of Luzon's electricity needs. The newly identified reservoir, known as Malampaya East 1, MAE-1, is the first major success under the Malampaya Phase 4 drilling campaign, which also includes the Camago and Bagong Pagasa wells. Early results indicate strong productivity, comparable to the original Malampaya wells, and possibly more. Malampaya remains one of the most important industrial projects in Philippine history. It's a joint effort between the government and the private sector, led by the Department of Energy and operated by Prime Energy on behalf of its partners, including Udena Corporation and the Philippine National Oil Company Exploration Corporation. Since operations began, Malampaya has supplied cleaner-burning natural gas to 4 power plants in Luzon, with a combined capacity of 3,200 megawatts. Its benefits go beyond electricity, reducing oil imports, lowering emissions, and strengthening energy independence. But time is running short. The existing Malampaya field is expected to be depleted within the next few years, and the Philippines already faces some of the highest electricity costs in the region. That's why this discovery matters so much. It's not just a new gas find, it's a potential lifeline. And in the increasingly crowded waters of the West Philippine Sea, how the Philippines protects and develops this resource could shape the country's energy future for decades to come. This discovery strengthens Malampaya's role and helps secure the Philippines' domestic gas supply for years to come. Early testing showed the new well producing around 60 million cubic feet of gas per day, a strong signal that this resource could meaningfully extend the life of the country's most important energy project. But energy in the South China Sea never exists in a vacuum. In 2023, the Washington-based Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative warned that multiple countries are accelerating oil and gas projects in these contested waters, projects that could easily become the next flashpoints in an already tense region. The United States, for its part, is backing an industrial push to help Manila develop its offshore oil and gas sector, where untapped reserves are estimated to be worth trillions of dollars. These are the same resources China has repeatedly tried to bring under its control. Between 2018 and 2025, the region saw repeated standoffs involving China, Vietnam, the Philippines, and other Southeast Asian nations over drilling activity in disputed areas of the South China Sea. Analysts now warn those confrontations could escalate as more exploration moves forward. According to recent reports, new offshore projects, many located inside China's sweeping 9-dash line, are being pursued by multiple claimants, even in areas where confrontations have already occurred. With the China Coast Guard stepping up patrols, the risk of clashes between Chinese vessels and energy operators is growing. Security experts argue that when the Philippines moves forward with exploration, it should do so with support, through joint patrols with the United States and direct backing from the Philippine Navy. Beijing has openly criticized Manila's deepening security ties with Washington, accusing the U.S. of undermining regional peace. That criticism intensified after the Marcos administration expanded U.S. access to Philippine military bases under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, first signed in 2014. Some of those locations sit near areas believed to be extremely rich in energy resources. In the Calayan Island Group, surveys by both the U.S. Geological Survey and China's Ministry of Geology and Mineral Resources estimate 17.1 billion barrels of hydrocarbons, valued at roughly $26.3 trillion. These islands have increasingly become a focus of Philippine defense planning. Further south, construction is nearing completion on a military runway on Balabac Island, close to key oil and gas zones in the disputed West Philippine Sea. It's one of the most strategically important EDCA sites, quietly strengthening monitoring and response capabilities near vital resources. Meanwhile, joint maritime exercises continue in the same waters where those reserves lie. Last year, the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group sailed alongside Philippine and Japanese ships in the South China Sea, Washington's largest show of force in the area in years, following a string of tense maritime incidents involving China and U.S. allies. All of this underscores a growing reality. The Philippines is quickly becoming a frontline state in the widening U.S.-China rivalry in the Indo-Pacific. The archipelago sits along the first island chain, a strategic line stretching from Japan to Taiwan to the Philippines, critical to U.S. regional defense planning. Manila's location also makes it central to any Taiwan contingency, given its proximity to the Luzon Strait and Bashi Channel, two key maritime choke points. At the same time, the Philippines lies just east of the South China Sea, one of the most important trade routes on Earth. An estimated $4 trillion in global trade passes through these waters every year, accounting for roughly 1/3 of all maritime trade worldwide. Beneath the surface, the stakes are just as high. Within the Philippines' 200-mile exclusive economic zone are potentially vast, recoverable hydrocarbon deposits. The U.S. Geological Survey and China's own geological agencies estimate oil reserves in the Spratly Islands could reach 17.1 billion barrels. The U.S. Energy Information Administration estimates the South China Sea contains 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas and 11 billion barrels of oil in proven and probable reserves. Additional studies suggest there could be even more, another 160 trillion cubic feet of gas and 12 billion barrels of oil still undiscovered. And it's not just about energy. Waters west of the Philippines, where China has built military bases atop reclaimed reefs, are dense with underwater terrain, ideal conditions for stealth submarine operations. Facing these overlapping pressures, the Philippine government is moving to strengthen its maritime defenses. The Coast Guard plans to add 40 fast patrol boats through a deal with a French shipbuilder, along with 5 new 97-meter patrol vessels from Japan. The United States is also exploring the transfer of 4 Coast Guard ships to Manila, adding to a fleet that already includes the BRP Gabriela Silang, the world's largest aluminum-hulled offshore patrol vessel. Together, these upgrades signal a clear intent to protect sovereign rights, secure critical energy resources, and maintain a presence in waters where economics, security, and great power competition are increasingly impossible to separate. The Philippines is taking a major step to strengthen its maritime security. French shipbuilder OSHA Shipbuilding and Industries has been tapped to construct 40 fast response patrol boats under a $438 million assistance program, roughly 25.4 billion pesos, aimed at boosting Manila's ability to protect its vast island waters. According to OSHA, the patrol boats, known as the FPB 110 class, are designed specifically for speed, flexibility, and endurance. Each vessel measures 35 meters long, carries a crew of 17, and can reach speeds between 28 and 35 knots. With a range of up to 700 nautical miles, these boats can stay at sea for long stretches without refueling, ideal for rapid response missions across the archipelago. Visually and operationally, the new French-built boats will resemble the Philippine Coast Guard's existing 44-meter Parola class vessels supplied by Japan. But this deal goes beyond hardware. The first 20 boats will be built in France, while the remaining 20 will be constructed in the Philippines, bringing jobs, training, and technology transfer to the local shipbuilding industry. France will also provide logistical support and equipment for 6 Coast Guard bases, strengthening operations onshore as well. This agreement comes just weeks after the Philippine Coast Guard confirmed another major acquisition: 5 additional 97-meter multi-role response vessels from Japan. These ships will be similar to the BRP Teresa Magbanua, currently the largest and most advanced vessel in the PCG fleet. The purchase, valued at 23.85 billion Philippine pesos, will be financed through a Japanese official development assistance loan. The procurement process is already underway. The first of the 5 new vessels is expected to arrive by late 2027, with the remaining 4 scheduled for delivery between 2027 and 2028. Japan has long been a key partner in modernizing the Philippine Coast Guard. So far, Tokyo has provided 12 patrol vessels, including 10 Parola-class ships built by Japan Marine United. The larger 97-meter Magbanua-class vessels were constructed by Mitsubishi Shipbuilding. At present, the Coast Guard operates 2 97-meter ships, the BRP Teresa Magbanua and BRP Melchora Aquino, both among the most capable assets in the fleet. Based on Japan's Kunigami-class design, these vessels can reach speeds of at least 24 knots and have an endurance of over 4,000 nautical miles, allowing them to conduct extended patrols far from shore. According to the PCG, these ships are essential for sustained operations in critical areas such as the West Philippine Sea and the Philippine Rise. Even with 13 ocean-going patrol vessels, the Coast Guard has been stretched thin, trying to monitor and protect a country made up of 7,641 islands, plus surrounding waters. Nowhere is that strain felt more than in the West Philippine Sea, Manila's term for the portion of the South China Sea within its exclusive economic zone. Frequent encounters with Chinese maritime forces around contested features have drained resources and worn down the Philippines' relatively small fleet. Currently, the Philippine Coast Guard relies on two main classes of multi-role response vessels, the Parola class and the Teresa Magbanua class. The Parola class includes 10 ships, each named after iconic Philippine lighthouses. The Magbanua class consists of two 97-meter patrol vessels, with more on the way. The Coast Guard also operates an offshore patrol vessel, the BRP Gabriela Silang, the largest aluminum-hulled OPV in the world. Among all these assets, the Parola-class ships remain the workhorses of the fleet, patrolling vast stretches of Philippine waters day in and day out. Together, the new French fast response craft and the incoming Japanese-built patrol vessels mark a clear shift. The Philippines is building a faster, stronger, and more resilient Coast Guard, one better equipped to protect its sovereignty in increasingly crowded and contested seas. Taken together, these acquisitions mark an important chapter in the evolution of the Philippine Coast Guard. They reflect practical needs, faster response times, wider coverage, and greater endurance, rather than dramatic shifts in posture. Modern patrol vessels don't automatically resolve disputes or eliminate tension. What they do is create options, better monitoring, safer operations, and clearer communication at sea. In crowded and sensitive waters, those capabilities can make the difference between stability and misunderstanding. As the Philippines continues to expand and modernize its fleet, the broader lesson is worth considering. Maritime security today isn't only about strength, it's about readiness, cooperation, and the ability to manage complex situations without escalation. Understanding these developments helps place individual ship purchases into a larger picture, one where technology, geography, and diplomacy all play a role in shaping how nations protect their waters and work alongside their neighbors.